doing pretty good. I don't know, a little burned out as a programmer, but for whatever reason, this text editor I'm working on is very fun to build. Alright, so it is quite mature, actually. Like, I absolutely flew through this project. This is an SDL3 backend, and it's not the only backend it supports. The default one is N-cursors. And I can do, like, everything live buffer editing. I've got multiple cursor support. Extra steps. No, it's actually inspired more by Helix. If I switch the window, then I go down here and I delete a bunch of text that the cursor relies on. Then I go back. The cursor disappeared. That doesn't. Alright, wait. Oh yeah, I also got automatic scrolling. The music is much higher than my voice. Dang it. Okay. Why would that be? Yeah, so I can't hear what y'all are hearing, so you'll have to tell me if something's off. How's this? How's this? Yeah, so I don't know why the cursor disappeared. Must have been something I did. Alright, good. If I do cadd, I think I might be finding a bug in real time. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, it locked up. Oh. Okay, wait. Okay. Alright, this is kind of a ridiculous bug. So, I have a detection mechanism. Hey Foos, how's it going? So, I have a detection method. Oh, wait, you're still awake? Damn, welcome. Alright. Alright. Fair, yeah. So, I have this detection method that deduplicates cursors if they have the same position, and I'm realizing I did it in kind of a naive way where it deduplicates any cursor that overlaps. But the idea is that every cursor in a buffer has a window that claims it, and that's why I can filter through cursors by window or by all. Oh, it's still too loud, okay. Really? What happened? It shouldn't be this loud. Huh, okay. Is that better? Maybe tiny... Yeah, how's that? Bring your own music. No, because I've noticed I actually lose a lot of retention if I don't play music in the background, which is... I am a big fan of bring your own music videos, but for whatever reason, if I stop the music on the stream, I think YouTube just stops promoting it or something. It's really annoying. So no, I'm gonna keep the music playing just for retention. I'm playing chill music. Hopefully no one finds it annoying, so, you know, I'm not like playing funk or something. Alright, so I gotta fix my D-dub. It's just when you listen to it too many times. Oh. Yeah, I get that. What the fuck? You have my attention, Jack me son. Jack my son. I'm not your son, but sure, Jack. That threw my brain for a loop for a second. Alright, maybe you don't want to listen to... Oh, I have it in linear. Yeah, I guess we've heard all of these so many times. Let's see. Maybe there's something... Like, this is newer in the list. I'll have to add more music to it later. Yeah, you can recommend me a song. I mean, I can't do much now on the stream when it comes to adding music to my local music collection, because I'll let your brain fill in the rest. Like, to add music to your local music collection, it's the government makes it hard, let's just say that, to have your music locally. Maidcore? Do I have a napkin? Oh. I have no idea where that napkin is from, so I'm gonna overwrite it. Alright. Oh, wait. For a second, I grouped some chat messages together in my brain, and I was confused. Also, yeah, the music is kind of loud, even on my end. I'll turn it down a little bit. Just let me know if the music is too loud. Alright, let me actually fix my DDub logic. So, buffer manager verify cursors. Alright, sweet. So, and then a quiet song plays. Okay. Sure. Alright, so, the problem is that I'm not validating that the cursors come from the same claiming window before I delete them. So what I have to do is add a clause to this if. Ooh, fuck. So now I should not get any, like, okay, so if I, for example, comment out this logic, I want to use SDL. So if I comment out that logic, and I do wdup, so like this, I'll get to that in a second. It's actually fairly simple. You might even be able to figure it out without me explaining it. Yeah, so see, my cursor gets deleted when I try and type there. So now I'm going to uncomment it. And now if I run it, yeah, now it doesn't get deduplicated, but if I'm in the same window and I type with multiple cursors and then do this, it gets deduplicated. Let me push that change. I wish there's a way to do mono volume, because wow. Git status, git commit, fixed, non-fixed, or added window detection when added window check when deduplicating cursors. Alright, so you asked how I support multiple backends. It's actually quite simple. So in my make file, I have a way to select music good. Yeah, music good. I have a way to select a UI backend. So for example, ncurses is the default. And the way I add a UI backend is I essentially just directly add a C source file and an object file to the C source and objects list that just interpolates in the UI backend. And then I have this header file called uibackend.h, which implements all the functionality expected to be supported by the UI backend, or just like promises it will exist, like a header file does. It promises this function exists after compiling and at link time. It just promises that it exists and you trust it, bro. So then I have multiple UI backend C files, and these actually implement that header. So like, for example, this is the ncurses backend, or the SDL3 backend, which is this. It's a lot longer. Which, something about this, which was pretty fun to do, is I actually intercept some characters, and I render them with custom code, because with TTF fonts, these look off, like blurry, and they don't connect, and with an ASCII font, they just don't exist at all. So I have custom logic to intercept and render these. Which, about that, my editor actually supports Unicode. I wrote a custom Unicode, I wrote a custom UTF encoder decoder, UTF-8. Which can be found, by the way, if you guys want to use my encoder decoder so you don't have to write your own, because it is a bit of a chore. I have it here in my screws repo. It's actually a very simple project to write an encoder decoder for Unicode, UTF-8. I can send the repo. How long have I been working on it? A little over a week. But I've been trying this new approach that's allowed me to absolutely fly through software development, where I'm not scared about writing shit code. See, all the other projects in the live streams, you've maybe noticed that I'm very, very thoughtful about the code I'm writing, and like I'm trying to design a system in my head, and I end up being very slow at adding stuff to the project. But for my text editor, I just shit code into it and watch it work, and the code is stinky garbage. But then I go back and I improve it, I clean it up, and I actually end up getting something cleaner than I would have gotten if I just tried to build it clean from the very beginning. Should the UI backend stuff with every project? I mean, it just depends. A lot of big projects do that. Like, you can have glue code, like a header that promises stuff. Headers in C, I like headers because they act like a comprehensible, essentially a spec. Like, you can write code that makes assumptions because it's backed up by a spec. Like, for example, my UTF-8 encoder decoder makes some assumptions that are completely fine because it's backed up by the UTF-8 specification. A header file is kind of like that, except for actual C code. So, you know, it's pretty easy to do stuff like that. StockMax game engine, ShockMax game engine. Oh, I don't know what that is. Oh, the dynamic array screw. So, whenever I write libraries, I sacrifice my sanity when writing the library so that I can use the library with all that sanity. So the dynamic array implementation has a lot of extra stuff, and it's also extremely conscious about the fact that heap operations can fail, heap allocations. So I have some extra code for like managing when a malloc call fails or whatever. Which, by the way, malloc is not hard coded. Like, you're actually forced to define macros that alias to whatever functions you want to use to allocate memory and whatnot. But the reason it's so long is because I have other things in here too that are based on dynamic arrays. Use them under the hood. Those being pointer trackers and string builders, which are very useful. For example, my text editor, even though, so I actually pulled in screws as a dependency initially, not for Unicode, but for string builders. So like my text area, anything that handles text uses string builders. So like right here. 3 elements. Yeah, I'll have to look into shock engine. Sounds interesting. 2 elements. Oh, you mean like why there's a pointer, a count, a capacity? So the reason why it's like this is because the way dynamic arrays work is you have allocated memory, and then you have your actual elements. And the way it works is you start out with no memory, or you allocate 1 element's worth, so now you have a capacity of 1 and a count of 0. You can push an element, but when you try pushing a new element, you need to reallocate, so you double the capacity. So now you have 2 count, 2 capacity. Push another element, now you have 3 count, 4 capacity. Push another element, there is space for it. Push another element, now you have 5 count, 8 capacity, and it just grows by a power of 2. And it just keeps growing. And the reason this is because you want to limit how many times you reallocate memory, but you want to make a balance between reallocation and space. And the thing about a dynamic array is if you're pushing lots of elements, you're likely to push a lot more elements. So what it does is it makes that assumption that the more elements in the dynamic array, the more elements it should account for when reallocating. So that's why there's a pointer count and capacity. There, in C dynamic arrays, there will also be stuff like element type size, and this is because the smart way to implement a dynamic array that's generic in C is to use void pointers. And my screw dynamic array has some extra complexity because it allows you to define typed dynamic arrays that essentially act like wrappers over the generic dynamic array, but type safe. So you don't have to like put asserts in your code and stuff. Yo, what's up, Luigi? Or Chanko? The guy with the night profile picture. Yahoo! 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 It's a me, Mario. It's a me, Mario. Wah! Do you need capacity if you have count, though? Yeah, you could. But no, you do need capacity if you support removing elements. And yeah, good point. I will have to get back to coding or programming here shortly too. I think what I'm gonna do is take intermediate breaks where I read the chat or just program for a while. So flood away, but I'll get back to it. And I'm also gonna play music that doesn't have words in it. So the reason you cannot infer is because you could have pointer count capacity, and you allocate a bunch of space. So let's say you have a situation like this, which in a realistic situation you'd actually have something like this, because this would be the element that triggers the reallocation. Now, the reason why you can't just infer from count is because capacity never shrinks. Capacity always grows, but it never shrinks. Count can grow and shrink, it doesn't care. So like, for example, if I pop elements, I do this. but the capacity sticks. There's also an operation in vectors, or dynamic arrays, better name for it. Dynamic arrays called reserving, where you could create a new dynamic array. You know you're going to push 5 elements onto it, and so what you do is you reserve enough space to push 5 elements. If you're enforcing a power by 2, it'd get rounded up to 8 elements added to the capacity, or yeah. So first, I would allocate enough space for them, and then I would actually push said elements. So this is why count and capacity need to stay decoupled. Dynamic arrays are quite beautiful. I use dynamic arrays a lot. For instance, you use dynamic arrays whenever you need to create an array that has an unknown length until runtime. So, for example, my buffers are stored in a dynamic array where, theoretically, you can have infinite buffers in my text editor. Obviously, no, you cannot, because, computational resources. But, yeah, the dynamic array can grow. Also, if you have a dynamic array abstraction, it's often a lot cleaner to write a dynamic array, like if you need to make a buffer or a stack or something, you could write it with a giant static array that's allocated at compile time, but it's often a lot cleaner and a lot more robust at runtime to just use a dynamic array. Obviously, you don't always want to use a dynamic array, but the general rule of thumb is, like, if you don't know the size until runtime, just use a dynamic array. And memory management's not much of an issue either, because I have this whole system where you can initialize and deinitialize a module. So, for example, if I go to main init, I have this init struct which stores functions to module inits and deinits. So yeah. Alright, so I'm not sure what I want to add to my text editor now. Do you guys have any ideas? I'm currently working on the simple stuff. So that'd be like, UI things. Ooh, I should add scrolling to the list prompt. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I have almost all the basic features. Like, for example, the only feature I can really think I don't have in the text editing space is I can't select text yet. But I also cannot copy paste yet. But other than that, like, I got multiple cursors. I can move the cursor around. My text editor automatically scrolls. I don't have verb stuff yet, but it is modal. Not yet. That's sort of like, that's stuff I'm going to handle with plugins. So the idea is this text editor will be like Cocoon a little bit. It will be very minimal unless it makes sense to add a feature to the core editor. But the thing that I'm going to do, which deviates from Cocoon, is my text editor is going to come with a plethora of default plugins. So, kind of like Emacs. Like, for example, one thing I want to do is write a protocol specification that I'll call, like, Olivine Net Buffer or something, where you will be able to connect to someone else's buffer over the internet if you have the net buffer plugin. I'm also doing that for security reasons too, because, you know, you can have a statically versioned editor but have the plugin itself change. I'm also going to make the core library in the scripting language a plugin, because I want to implement plugins as binaries and then have a scripting language be kind of like a glue that's sort of like a shortcut. Yeah, live collab. Or even crazier, you could build a server that understands the Olivine network buffer protocol, and then that server can actually provide custom content. So, like, for example, I could build a chat room service that uses Olivine as a client. So, like, it would fabricate an interface like foo says hi, bar says hello, and then down here you would have, like, a place to enter chat messages, and it'd be able to fabricate this. Or not necessarily plugins in the server, but like a you know how like, for example, the Minecraft server, you can open to LAN. I'm talking specifically about Java Edition, in case it wasn't clear. You can open your world directly to LAN, and your client acts like a server for other clients. So I'd have something like that the plugin would allow you to do, with the net buffer plugin would allow you to do, where buffers can connect straight to each other. I'm not familiar with WeChat. But yeah, like, you could have, like, the server knows the protocol. The server is not an Olivine text editor, but it can, just replicate the same calls that, or the same, TCP traffic that the editor would expect. Oh, I see. Okay. I thought you were talking about, like, the Chinese thing. Okay. But yeah, so, like, for, oh, right, yeah, it's spelled like that. So, like, for example, one thing I might do is, replace RMPC with a custom music player that would run in my text editor, which would be a lot less friction when I need to change the song or volume or whatever, because, like, there you go, free nausea. Oh, I also, I have light mode too, because some people are psychopaths. And ASCII. You know, I actually read Wikipedia pages or any kind of wiki page in light mode, and the reason why is it's a lot easier on my eyes when I have to parse through contrast as opposed to colors. Because reading on a black background is so just, like, it gives my eyes an ache. But when I'm actually programming, I always use dark mode. Anyway, so... Right, I was going to make the list prompt scroll. List prompt. I'm going to do this similar to how I did it with the Windows. Because the way my text editor works is you have... How's my audio volume? Good, alright. So the way my text editor works is you have windows, and then you have buffers. And then you have cursors and whatnot, and those are in the buffers themselves. And you can filter through cursors because each cursor stores a window ID. But anyway, you have windows and you have buffers. And this means that multiple buffers can be interchanged throughout the same window, and multiple windows can look at the same buffer and see text update in real time. So that's how my text editor works, and I've got on the buffer, so the buffer only worries about text. It doesn't worry about areas on the terminal or anything like that. The window is what actually worries about things like scrolling, where the window is placed, etc. That's the job of the window. The window is also what inserts cursors and stuff, because it can attach its own window ID. So, alright, let's see here. I need, list prompt left, list prompt right. Where's my list prompt up, list prompt down? Oh, it's right here. So I gotta have a thing that's like, scroll. And it's gonna be similar to, how, which, what? List prompt.h. Okay, so it can be a global variable. I've been thinking about writing a program system architecture on paper before starting to code it, lol. Because I usually do that in my head generally, which works, but it's nice to have it on paper. See, I'm not even doing that for my text editor, and it's, I think what's making it so easy to work on this project is because I'm not worrying myself about all the abstract details. Because I actually have a prior attempt of writing a text editor where I wrote an entire specification for how a virtual machine operates in the background that makes plugins isolated and stuff. And then the project just kind of went nowhere. In fact, maybe I can run it. Like, git pull. Where is this it? This might not be it. What? Oh, here comes one of my favorite songs. Let's go. What? Yo? Okay, oh, did I? Oh my god, I have an entire argument parser too, which is not something I implemented from scratch for this text editor, but I wrote an argument parser library in C. But yeah, this is my prior attempt. It yeah, it's not great. Like, it took me forever to add this mode line because I was too concerned with adding support for format strings as opposed to just printf mode line. Like, I don't even have cursors or anything like that. I can't even quit it. Kill Oh, you're a trauma? Right. Yeah, now I remember. But yeah, I kind of thought you were a trauma when you mentioned you looked through the dynamic array screw, because I know what trauma did, so now I can connect the two. I think I can make this one a tiny bit louder. But yeah, so let me implement this scroll. So I'm going to go to the top, and I'm going to say, static uint_max_t scroll. Scroll Y. Scrolly. So, now, I'm gonna say, I guess, I need a way to tell the list prompt its area. So the way I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna do static area 2D UI area, which these types are generated by a macro, and a E. So area 2D UI, and this is a struct area. Void list prompt set area struct area to the UI, or actually I can just do set a size. Oh wait, I'm already at the bottom. Area size vec2d UI. Why is it complaining? Where? Oh, not shared macros, portable macros. Yeah, there we go. Right, so that sets the size. And then in main, what I'm going to do is UI draw, or draw UI. Yeah, that's what I called it. I'm gonna say, list prompt set area size pop-up area size, like this. And then what I shall do is down here in scroll, I'm going to say while, how did I do this in my window manager? Scroll. While item cursor position line is more than or equal to plus scroll. while active is more than or equal to area size y plus scroll y. I want to do scroll y plus plus while active is less than scroll y minus minus. Boom. And then, yeah. And then I need a way to get the scroll from the list prompt. So I'm going to say uint_max t list prompt get scroll y. Get scroll y. And then I need to actually render scroll. So render list prompt. So I want to say set scissor, set color. I want to say if oh wow, okay, this is actually quite easy. I can say is equal to const uint_max t list prompt scroll, or I'll just say scroll list prompt get scroll y, and then I'll just say I is equal to scroll, and that should fix it. So now if I have, I'm gonna read the chat too. Also, the music loud. I'm still thinking about starting to live stream my project making myself, but I don't feel like my projects are that ambitious to show them off, and because I mostly read documentation when working. You can still stream. I mean, that's what my streams are sort of like, too. Streaming, so I used to think that streaming helped my productivity, and I think it did, but now I'm realizing that the way I'm doing things when writing code now, streaming actually sort of goes against them, which is fine. Now I just have to adapt how I stream, where instead of reading a new chat message as soon as it comes, I'm going to give the chat a little bit of a break, write some code, then come back to the chat for a little bit. So I think that will help me be productive while streaming again. But I like streaming. Even if it's not productive, I like streaming. So, you know, I'm going to keep doing it. Alright, so, help. Okay, so that does not work. And I think I know why. See, the scroll is only taking into account the list area. So what I gotta do is I'm also, one thing I'm doing is I'm not offsetting things correctly. So yeah, like right here I say minus scroll, and now Yeah, so it scrolls like that. But this top 3 characters, I need to get rid of that in the area calculations. Render listy prompt. So I need to say, if using search, I need to say list prompt set area size. So this way it will re-register when I change the area while drawing. So now it works. I have scrolling in my list prompt, which is very good. Now, how does it fare with searching? So, like, if I do, I don't know, CDEL. Yeah, okay, it removes my cursor. So that's what I want. And can you see how my code being shit when it comes to drawing a list prompt is actually okay and it makes me go fast? Like, I just did this in no time, whereas if I did my old approach, it'd take me forever because I'd be building a ton of abstractions which aren't even needed. To add effects. Sound effects? I'm not sure what you mean by FX. One thing I do want to... Oh, screen effects. I mean... that would be plugin driven. I don't know. Probably? I mean... There wouldn't be a notion of a shadow in the actual editor itself. It would just, you'd achieve that through mechanisms the editor gives you. So like drawing a rectangle or something that's composited. You could also maybe have, I should add this. So I want to add UI backend hints. Where it's you can hint to the UI backend that you want something, and the UI backend will interpret that hint however it wants to. So I'm gonna have a UI backend hint. Hint something to the UI backend. Void. Enum status, sure, UI backend hint. Const char restrict hint, const char restrict value. Actually, I don't need restrict, because I might expose this to the scripting language later and restrict might break things, so I'll leave those off. They're also constant pointers, so I trust that the C compiler is not going to generate garbage code. I could also have multiple different kinds of hinters. So, like struct UI backend hint. Hint, I'll call this hint string. And then I'll have a hint integer, or a hint uint. Or hint int. Hint integer. Int 64t integer or value. Something like this. And then what should... Yeah, so something like this. Or should I... Yeah. Alright, so... I should also well define returns status error not found if int is not valid. This is not a fatal error. So first, I'm going to add some hints to the SDL3 backend. If stir CMP equals 0, hint equals SDL3 or UI backend SDL3 SDL zoom or SDL cell width. I'll add this to integer hints. Return status not found. Status error not found. SDL cell width, I'm gonna have to also, if value is above 0, or above or equal to 0, value else 0. Or actually, I'll just say, I feel like this is more straightforward. Else if cell height, and then I gotta change these from define cell width, cell height to static uint, or actually I'll change these to default cell width and cell height. And then I'll have down here static cell or static float cell width. Yeah, cell width, or I'll make them uint64t. Cell width, default cell width. Oop. Oop. So cell width, cell height. And then the code should just work. Let me go down to the... Why am I scrolling? Okay, anyway. Void int... Oh, shit. There we go. If value equals null, return status error No param. So now, if I run this, what? Static uint 64T. Ah. Oop. I'm getting used to my keyboard again, which is very weird. What? Oh. Which I just realized this is not going to work due to the fact that I would have to reinitialize the font, which I can do that. So now if I go to main and I do like UI backend wake, then after this, if I do, and I don't care about status, UI backend hint integer SDL cell width, and I set it to like 50. Yep. Look at that. Isn't it beautiful? Absolutely beautiful. It's like I'm in a BIOS. Or I can go the other direction, so with, like, say, well, I don't know, 5. Oh my god, so narrow. But see, now if I do set up, I think, if I hint to the cell height instead, and I tell it to be like 50, I guess the text works just fine. Would it work with a different font? What if I did test mono font? Yeah, just... Yeah, okay, it works. Interesting. Right. So it works. I wonder if it's blurry or something. One way to find out is to make it super tall. Yeah, so it is blurry. That's why I have to reinitialize it. I probably don't have to worry about that now, but yeah, something to keep in mind. Why does that compile? That should not compile. Why does that compile? Well, that's, strange. Yes. Okay, now it does not compile. And it's because I need to add these two end curses as well. That's the one downside with handling multiple backends, is you always have to make sure you implement functionality across all of them. Now it works. Alright, now I'm gonna read the chat. I sometimes join some public Discord nerdy voice chats and stream there. It makes me feel anxious about my work, even though everyone who comes seem amazed. I mean, see, the thing is, in the developer space, the people who judge your projects are usually the same people who just learned how to write code. So, or I say that as in, like, I will judge your project, but I will tell you why I am judging it, and I will give you feedback to improve it, because I want to help people grow as programmers. I'm going to be honest if their project sucks, but I'm actually going to help them grow. Whereas, like, a new programmer will just say your project is shit and then, like, stream a bunch of knowledge they know, and they try and act all impressive and stuff. So in the programming space, you can stream your shitty-ass project and people still find it entertaining. Like, a great example of this is, there's a Japanese streamer who basically vibe codes stuff in JavaScript the entire stream, but I find it entertaining because it's, I don't know, it's a vibe. And it's in Japanese, so I have to, like, I'm learning Japanese for a trip that's up and coming where I go snowboarding in Japan, so I find it entertaining. I think it's, yeah, Itika codes. Yeah, right here. It's like the most vibe-coded thing ever, but it's entertaining. Which, by the way, I do not condone AI-generated code. Just want to make that very clear. My text editor is forever going to be human-generated. Which, the downside of that, of my projects being human-generated only, is that I'm going to be very picky about people who get their pull requests merged in. Like, I'll probably only accept pull requests from people I know. A GPU in KiCad. Dude, designing a GPU is, I mean, I will admit, like, I could probably do it, because a GPU seems like just a CPU with lots of cores, but doing it is very impressive. Like, and obviously, like, I probably cannot design a true GPU, because there's a lot more that goes into a GPU, and a lot more that goes into a CPU for that matter. But, like, cool projects like that, which, are they stupid? Maybe. Are they useless? Maybe. But are they cool? Yeah. Yeah, you should keep doing those. Like, programming is a form of art. So, keep doing the art. Basic logic gates. Yeah, I've never heard of the 74XX family chips. I'm actually not really that well versed in the world of electrical engineering, but I'd like to be. Also, my dad walked in and gave me dinner, which is kind of new, because usually I go downstairs to eat. I wonder why he wants me to eat up here. I'm trying to think what I want to do next. Second year? Oh, cool. Yeah, I went to community college for a little bit because I wanted to try and get an EE degree. And then I learned that companies will hire you even if you don't have an EE degree, as long as it's low voltage, low risk environments. And yeah, also I don't learn well in college. I learn 10 times slower with a teacher than I do just on my own. Anyway, yeah, see, I can't stand lectures. Lectures make me want to pull my brain out and, I don't know, squeeze it as a giant stress ball. But yeah, lectures are just terrible. Oh, by the way, the colors of my text editor right now are the Linux TTY colors. They're not synced to the actual TTY colors on your system or anything, because, by the way, you can actually change those at runtime. But I used this tool I wrote that grabs the TTY colors via the runtime files. And then I just plugged those straight into my text editor. I also have another color scheme in here, which I can activate by defining something. And now I got the quartz color scheme, which is for my quartz rice. This. I made my own color scheme for it. The only reason I'm not using that on this machine is because it looks blurry on this monitor for some reason. And I'm gonna revert that. Oh, one other thing my text editor supports, which I added, is it can render tabs correctly. So like here's the make file opened up in the text editor, and as you'll see, like the cursor expands to fill up the tab. It's actually configured via runtime parameters in the buffer itself. So each buffer can have its own runtime parameters. And yeah, pretty cool. I've also actually used my text editor to edit its own source code. Like when I was adding custom intercepts for certain characters, I edited a little bit of that with the text editor. So if I can find that. Where is it? Yeah, right here. I even have a little comment. I wrote this line and this comment using the text editor. Pretty cool, huh? It's also kind of surreal seeing that these characters that I'm checking against in the source code, I'm also rendering here in the text editor with this very line of code that's under it. Or these very lines of code, rather. Pretty cool. Yeah, studying at home. Well, see, you don't have an issue with studying if you actually like the material and you want to just goof around with it. That's how I learn things. I just goof around. I never do homework or study. I literally just goof around with the material and find out, and that's how I learn all this stuff. Studying is, like, it's just a waste of time. Alright, see ya, Merlin. Yeah, all the college, like, sub-college things that countries have. Hmm. Padding area dot size dot y. Yo. No. Shit. Ah, I know why this is. See, if I go up here. Whoa. Oh, I know why that happened. Okay, it's perfectly normal. Yeah, so now my line numbers update. So I'm just checking the wrong thing. Render window. Rendore. So instead of checking the area size, I want to check the amount of lines in the buffer. So, const unit max t buffer line count. Text area line count. Buffer TA. And I'm gonna put JU in here. And put buffer line count. And this oh fuck. Oh fucky wacky. Well, what? Huh? Yo, what? Oh, okay. I know that I know why this is happening. It's because I'm literally changing the line count when I delete lines. So I need to say the maximum between the two. Area size y is more than I want to say area size y else buffer line count. Yeah. Now if I run this, yeah, it just works. Cool. Yep. Well, hot diggity. And if I open up another buffer here, and I do something like this, yeah, it's broken. What? Очень интересно. Yeah, that's... I think this is not a... No, that's not a bug. Okay, that's fine. Let me test Vim. So if I go down in Vim, it just follows my cursor. Interesting. Yeah, that's probably a bug I'll have to fix. But I'm not sure why. Like, why? Huh? My Bren. My Bren is oh! I know why it's happening. Wait, just to confirm, this is a bug with a single window, too. What's the point of derivatives and integrals if you can't use them to work on inverted kinematics to make robots or whatever the fuck? Yeah, exactly. I only learn stuff when I actually need to, because it's more efficient. Yeah, so I need to add the scroll. Oh shit. Render window. You know what? I'm just gonna Oh boy! What if I just... Oh wait, I have to also plus scroll here. You know what? I'm gonna write a macro that does something like define max not single eval. Like this. I'll also have a min not single eval. X is less than y. X, y. And I said not single eval because, like, if I put a function call in here, it'll get called twice. Because a macro is literally a copy paste of syntax. So, yeah, I'm gonna say instead of this shall go in a max not single eval. And I put it in brace in parentheses. Good. Yeah. I think this will fix it. So now if I go like this, and then I go back up, it stays like that. But if I go back down, and then I delete all these lines, yeah, it goes back seamlessly. Also gotta fix that void indicator issue. And if I duplicate window and then do this, yeah, that works. If I go to that other window and I scroll down, and then I go to the first window and I delete all these lines, it stays yeah, I wasn't deleting the lines. But yeah, so that works. Number line column now matches biggest line number. Right, so now what other things should I add? Well, I want to make what's in the commands? Nothing really. All right. Oh yeah, I gotta fix the void markers. Because, like, this is incorrect behavior. Render window. That's actually going to be here in render buffer. Render buffer. Where are the void markers? Void lines height. What if I just naively do a window view scroll Y? Whoa, okay, that did not fix it. Render buffer. Oh, I know what it is. I need to do if window if void lines offset is more than or equal to window view scroll Y, I want to do void lines offset minus equals view scroll Y, else void lines offset equals 0. That did absolutely nothing. Why did it do nothing? How can I fix this? Alright, let's see. So, if the cursor is here... Oh, I think I what? No, I'm doing that correct. It's gotta be, It's gotta be this. So if I simply open like this, yeah, see, it shows up in this one with that fix applied. Void lines. Whereas if I remove this, I should get that issue back where if I wdup, then I go down, and then I go here. Yeah, so that issue comes back. So this tells me that I need to move this down here. I think. Yeah, that fixes it. Yeah, that fixes it completely. Fix void line markers not respecting scroll. Alright, what else should I add? Let's see, if I do a little bit of typing. Yeah, it feels good to type in. The cursor movement is advanced. Oh, I should also check. If I do this, and then I go like wdup, go here, and remove some of this. Or, yeah, something like this. And then go back here, or go back here. Okay, yeah, that's really a, like, I guess technically that's a bug, but it'd be too involved to fix it to be worth it, so, yeah. That's fine. Alright, what should I do now? I should add selections. Yeah, okay. How do I want to approach that? Also needing to juggle this stream and my dinner, because for whatever reason I'm eating it up here. And I'm keeping my hands clean while doing it. Yeah. Okay, so there are a few ways I can do this. I could do either index-based selection or position-based selection. I'm leaning more towards position-based selection, and the reason why is it'd make the logic a lot cleaner and querying a lot less computationally expensive, I think. So yeah. I think it'd also lead to fewer bugs if I did position-based selection. Yeah. Hold on, let me think this through more. And eat another piece of chicken. Okay. I'm actually going to do indexed-based selection. So now, I actually want to think more about this before I add it. That's one of the few things where I'm going to think a little more before I do. Because if I mess up, it's going to be quite... Oh, shit. It's going to be quite annoying to revert whatever I messed up. And I am pretty tired, actually. So, I think I'm gonna end the stream with, yeah, I'm gonna end the stream now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little glance at the terminal text editor I'm building that also has an SDL backend, because I added it while debugging and getting annoyed at the fact that ASAN was clobbering my terminal output. So I hope you guys enjoyed. A little sad I didn't get to use the debugger on stream, that being GF2, but yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.